Get some white bread.
Our lunch program for today, it's the last step. It's kind of like we're at the back nine and we're making our way to the 19th hole. So we'll go ahead and get started. First of all, we're going to kind of do a little housekeeping before we break up our speakers for our keynote speakers for today. But first of all, I need to do some thank yous. So in this room, you will see a lot of us in our navy and our khaki, and that is the CGA staff. So I would like to thank all the CGA staff. They'll just raise their hand. I know they don't want to stand up. But we do. So whether or not it's our staff that's doing rules, or maybe they're doing course rating or handicapping, maybe it's us just putting you on social media, or it's me sending you all kinds of great emails and newsletters that you get weekly. It takes our whole team. So thank you to all of them, because without them, we would not be here today doing the thing that we love most, and being with you guys as our members. Also, I'd like to thank all of our speakers. So Justin with Golf Genius, we had Elena King, we had George, Ashley, Maddie, Aaron Gareka, and you'll soon get to meet our keynote speakers. We want to thank all of them for taking their time today to be with us and to educate us on what's coming up and what you need to know. All right. Okay, now we're gonna do a couple of different kind of fun things. So get ready. I want you to raise your hand if you're a CGA board member. And we've got a few here in the room. There's Judy right there. Peggy back there. Where's Lord Steve? I saw her around here. We need to give these guys also a round of applause for those that we have an incredible board as well as incredible women on that board, so we thank them for being here today. Okay, do we have any rules officials in the room? If you volunteered to our rules, raise your hand, raise it proud, right? They're DQing people left and right. All right, here's another one. So earlier today, Ashley and George, they did like a little shameless plug. I'm trying to recruit all of you guys to be our rules referees and be out on the golf course, which is great. But now it has created, there's some in-office stuff about, well, what about course rating? We have course rating people. So if you have ever rated a golf course, and there may have to be one of them, raise your hand if you're on a course rating team. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so because they weren't able to do their own shameless plug, I'm going to do it for them. So if you are interested in being a course rater and hanging out with Lori Stevron, Aaron Gareka, Maddie Kern, and going around the state and rating courses, we would love to have you. There is a little bit of something. You do have to have a 24 or below handicap to do that. But if you are interested, they're right over there. They're waiting and they're ready. Okay? We want to get those courses rated, right? Okay. Before we get to our next fun thing, I do want to do another shout out. So Susan Fornoff right here, she's in the bright pink. I know she wore this for a reason, right? All right. Susan is one of our writers. So if you guys read the Fab 5 in your newsletter, you read Molly Mulligan, guess who's the face behind that? Or behind the computer?
White bread.
All kinds of articles, and she's always looking for ideas. She needs people to interview. If you have something that you want to hear about, there's the person for you. So make sure you can come find me and I will direct you. I will send your emails. There's all kinds of fun stuff coming up. Okay? A lot of travel stuff in our next issue. It's perfect. She'll call you, she'll interview. It's great. So thank you, Susan, for being here. All right, now here's the assignment. I need everyone to whip out that cell phone that you have with you, because you know we're attached to it 24/7. And you should have, there are 3 special apps that you should have on your phone. Number 1, always gotta have your rules app, right? Okay, so download the rules app. You don't need that little rules book anymore. It'll be right here on your phone. It's great. I believe you can search and find exactly what you want. It's much easier, okay? The other one is Golf Genius. You can have Golf Genius right here on your phone, okay? There is an app out there that looks a little bit like the Colorado Golf Association logo. That's not us, just so that you know. And then the last one is your GYN app. okay? And we're gonna post some scores, but I want everyone, because it should be on your phone, to open your gym app for me. You can look at your beautiful handicap, mine needs some work. Anyone else? All right, now, something that's really, really neat that is new this year is when you scroll, you have your own rewind, My Gym Rewind. You should see that little ad right there. How many of you have looked at this? Oh, I can't help you with your password right now, but later, I can maybe help you with that. Okay, so you're gonna click on your rewind, all right? And this is gonna tell you all about what you did last year, right? So as we're starting to gear up for next year, this is everything you need to know. Oh, I heard some groaning. That's never good, okay? We're gonna be positive. Remember what Elena said, if you weren't stop worrying, that self-talk's positivity. All right, so in here you can see how many courses you played. This, I think I worked too much, and I only got into two courses. That's funny. Okay, and then how many I posted. What my best score was, I will not tell you what that was. You guys already know. My average score, it needs some work. And then how I ended. So at your tables, I want you guys to compare with your new friends, because the person who dropped the lowest, so if you started like me at a 16, and you dropped a few little points, we want to know. So just kind of compare. Did you drop by 1? Did you drop by 2? Did you drop by 5? Oh yeah, this is starting some great conversations. Yeah. It's kind of like taking it fast, you're comparing notes. Okay, so now at your table, I want you to raise your hand if you went down by at least 1. Raise your hand, keep that hand up. Okay. Who went down by 2? Keep them up, keep them up, we'll keep them up, keep them up. Okay, how about 3? 3, oh yeah. 4? Oh wait, 4? Okay. 5. 6. Whoa! 7. 8. 9. 10. All right, we gotta know. Can you shout it out for me? How much? So I'm going to where Christina, she's always helping me with everything in my life. Okay, Anna back there, we're gonna grab your name because that needs to, you're gonna get something for that, okay? So don't leave without either seeing me or Anna there at the back. All right, well, that's kind of fun. So as you go back to your leagues and you start your coffees, have your opening teas, whatever you do, just kick off your season. That's a fun way to engage your members with the Gym Mobile app. A lot of times, I'm not gonna lie, some members don't open that app, they may not be posting and they're just letting the clubs or the leagues post for them. But it's kind of fun to see, so make sure that they do that. If for some reason they can't get into that gym app, they probably don't have a digital profile. Therefore, call our office and we'll make that happen. All right. So again, I want to thank you guys. Also up here on the screen during lunch, you guys saw all the 2023 club champions. Do we have any club champions in the room? Raise your hand. Yes, congratulations. If you didn't see your person listed on there, it's because we didn't have them. So give us an email and we'll get you on that list and we'll do it again for next year. So congratulations to all of our club champions. You also saw that Morgan Miller was our CGA Women's Player of the Year. Marilyn Hardy was our Senior Player of the Year. Hadley Ashton was our Junior Player of the Year. And a big congratulations to our Club of the Year, which is the Aurora Hills 9-hole league. But before we get started, our biggest thank you goes to each and every one of you, because we need all of you to keep the CGA going and with your membership and everything that you guys do day to day in your leagues. You're doing the bulk of the work. So we thank you for everything that you do in your leagues, whether you're doing.
Cut off my nipple.
handicapping, we thank you, or if you're just playing in the league.
Maybe.
We really do appreciate you. All right, so at this time, we're gonna go ahead and we're going to bring up our two keynote speakers. We're gonna do a little bit of a fireside chat. So I'm gonna invite to the stage Lindsay Drescher and Christina Leonhard. So we have a real treat today. So I'm going to introduce them. So Lindsay is the Senior Director of Diversity, Equality, and Inclusion for the Western Golf Association. She has been with the WGA, also known as the Western Golf Association, since 2018, when she started as the Director of Events and Stewardship. Prior to her time at the WGA, she spent 7 years with the Chicago Blackhawks. We will not hold that against her. It's okay, you're an Avs country.
I know,
You'll
I
be-
recognize that, that's okay.
It's okay. It's your second favorite.
It's my second.
Second. And then Christina Leonhard is the Director of Ticket Sales and Marketing for the BMW Championship with the Western Golf Association. Christina has been in her role since 2019, and prior to working for the WGA, she handled tickets and event operations and collegiate athletics, as well as a ticket master. So she knows everything there is about tickets. Well, thank you guys for being here with us today. We're just so excited because we've got some big stuff happening here in Colorado, and we're just so thankful that you could join us and give us some updates and what's going to happen here in August. So,
I was just gonna say thank you for having us and inviting us to partake in your morning here. We're certainly happy to be here. And as you will see, we're very eager and love talking about the Evans Scholars and the BMW Championship. So appreciate you having us.
thank you. All right, so Lindsay, I'm going to start with you. And can you tell us about the Evans Scholarship?
There, okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Lindsay, thank you for having us here today. The Evans Scholarship, for those of you who don't know, is a 4-year full tuition, full housing scholarship that we provide to high school students in their senior year. One of the caveats is you have to serve as golf caddy for at least 2 years prior to applying for that scholarship. Another qualification would include high academic achievement, demonstrated financial need, and then also strong character. So this actually started back in 1930, so we've been around for a long time. The first 2 caddies were awarded in 1930 to Northwestern University. It actually started because famed amateur golfer Charles Chick Evans, he wanted to keep his amateur status, and in order to do so, he couldn't keep his earnings. So he was a caddy himself, couldn't afford to go to college, and wanted to provide that opportunity for others who were in his same situation. So he used the money that he won from his tournaments to create the scholarship. So thanks to him, 94 years later, we currently have 1,130 students in school on the scholarship at 24 universities across the country. So grown quite a bit, and since that time, we've had a lot of alumni. We have over 12,000 alumni, 3 of which are here today and work for the CGA. So Ed Bates, Aaron Goreka, and Kayla Kearns, who's done with them. I'm proud of them. And just to really paint the picture about the scholarship and its impact and the students that are involved, I'm actually going to invite Kayla Kearns to come up and share a little bit about her story and her experience as a scholar. She actually graduated from Wisconsin-Madison, again, just not against her, in 2023. We also have 58 students at CB Boulder right now, but she graduated at Madison in 2023. She's from Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. She caddied at the country club there, and now she is the manager of social media and video content for the CGA.
Thank you. Hi all. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kayla Kearns. To most of you, I am just a recent college graduate and an Evans Scholar alumni from Wisconsin. To my sister, I am her second mom and role model. To my mother, I am the firstborn who saved her life. To my father, although I am the daughter he missed out on. Sorry, am I getting emotional? While my father chose to not have any part of my life, my mother chose to give me the best one. My father's absence left a void through the years, yet my mother at just 20 found strength in unexpected places in the heartbeat of her unborn child. Yet I was her lifeline, the reason she chose the path less traveled. She could have found herself down a bad path due to her own childhood trauma, but she said getting pregnant with me changed her life forever. Growing up, I moved 13 times to 4 different states, while my mom juggled many different jobs, usually all at once. She went the extra mile so she could afford to put me in every sport possible: softball, soccer, gymnastics, competitive dance, basketball, and golf. As hard as my mom worked, I always thought college was a pipe dream. When I was 8, my sister Carson was born. When Carson was about 2, her father unfortunately echoed the same abandonment my own had chosen. From then on, it became the 3 of us against the world. By 2012, we started a new life in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. Eventually, I found out about caddying at Bigfoot Country Club through my high school golf coach, and I needed a summer job. In my first ever caddy loop, I was very fortunate enough to caddy for the Wisconsin WGA State Director while shadowing a current Evans Scholar. Over 18 holes, the 2 told me everything there was to know about the Evans Scholarship, and from that day forward, nothing was going to stop me from becoming an Evans Scholar. Bigfoot Country Club essentially became my second family at home. The biggest thing caddying taught me was conversing with adults at a young age. I knew how to read the room and spark up a conversation with all different types of people. And when it came time for my selection meeting, or as most of you know it as the Evans Scholar interview, I knew I had the support from my club. I still remember the day I opened my letter from the Evans Scholar Foundation. It was December 22nd, 2018, right before Christmas. I ran to the mailbox and ripped open my letter. As I read it aloud, my mother's tears mirrored the magnitude of the gift we had received. That moment forever changed our lives. No more living paycheck to paycheck. This scholarship meant stability, a chance for a better life. As I stand before you today, my heart swells with gratitude and the profound realization that I am a living testament to the extraordinary journey encapsulated by the Evans Scholars Foundation. From the sun-drenched fairways at the Bigfoot Country Club to the cobbled streets of Geneva, Switzerland, where I was able to study abroad, and now as a social media manager for the CGA, I have traversed an entire spectrum of the Evans Scholars journey, from caddy to college to career. The Evans Scholarship wasn't just financial support. It was the key to unlock doors to a world of knowledge and possibility. At the University of Wisconsin, I not only studied life sciences communication, but also earned certificates in entrepreneurship, digital studies, and global health. Additionally, the Evans Scholarship House became my haven, a community of full, lifelong friendships. Despite challenges brought forth by COVID-19, my college years were nothing but extraordinary. And in the summer of 2022, sorry, I'm really nervous. Leveraging my connections with the Western Golf Association, I secured an internship as their first ever digital communications summer intern, immersing myself in media across all levels of golf competition, from junior, amateur, Corn Ferry Tour, and the BMW Championship. Finally, graduating in May of last year, it marks the culmination of years of dedication and the beginning of a new chapter. Securing a role with the CGA was more than just a job. It was the realization of a career that aligned with my dreams, and it stands to the far-reaching impact of the Evans Scholars Foundation. I'm so grateful to have a strong, resilient, and brave mother to look up to. If you're lucky enough to meet her, you know how proud she is to say we statistically beat the odds. She likes to tell me that I am her hero, but she is mine. This is not just my story. It's, what did I write here? It's a demonstration to the power of dreams and collective effort of the community that believes in the potential of every individual. To each person who believed in me, to the Evans Scholar Foundation, and to the game of golf that brought us all together, I extend my deepest thanks and honor. That was kind of new for all of us on our staff, so I know that was very special. So thank you for sharing that with us. And just so you know, that's what an Evans Scholar selection or interview meeting is like. Is you get to see these wonderful, right? As you said, you cry. It's a day of tears, happy too, but you can cry, and it is just extraordinary to have Kayla on staff that has been changed by this. Erin Gareka, who was changed for this, and me. As we always say at the CGA, the C for Colorado is also stands for caddies, and that's why we love our Solich Caddy and Leadership Academy as well. So we'll hear about that and how we're continuing that. So thank you for letting us share our story. So Lindsay, with that, the Evans Scholarship has this connection to the BMW Championship. Can you tell us what's that all about?
Yeah, of course. So the PGA Tour, all of the tournaments that take place on that agriculture component, where the net proceeds are given to a charitable organization for the BMW Championship. That happens to be the Evans Scholars Foundation. So all of the proceeds that are made through the tournament will go back to benefit foundation and provide scholarships for students like Kayla. So following 2023, where we have the BMW Championship at Olympia Fields Country Club, BMW, the championship itself, has contributed $50 million to the foundation since it started that partnership in 2007. To put that in perspective, that's 3,300 college scholarships we've been able to award to caddies since 2007. So the impact of the championship is hugely beneficial to our success and to continue the organization.
Thank you. So we have a video that we're going to share.
Real.
One's already, and you're gonna have to get another one.
So that leads right into what's coming to Colorado. So Christina, can you tell us about the BMW Championship this year, Castle Pines?
Yeah, absolutely. I love showing that video because it gets everybody hyped up for sure. But it's interesting. It brings the excitement to you guys, but it's all the little details I see in it that go into planning an event like that, from the agronomy and grounds crew prepping the course and keeping it maintained throughout the tournament, all the branding and staging elements that are important to BMW as our title sponsor. You see in there our scholar caddies that are integrated into the tournament. The logistics and operations of getting all the stands through gates, spectator flow. The involvement all the way from Germany of Ilka in there from BMW who comes in for the trophy presentation. All those little steps in planning are kind of what I see in that and what goes into it and makes the BMW Championship what it is. Some unique things about our tournament, we're actually the oldest event on the PGA Tour outside of the majors. We're celebrating as Western Golf this year our 125th anniversary. So certainly elements, we just released last week some specialty logos around the WGA and that 125th year mark that we're incorporating into this year. Other unique aspects of our event, we are a playoff event. So if you're familiar with the FedEx Cup point system and what the players are earning throughout the schedule all year, the BMW Championship is the penultimate event of the FedEx Cup playoffs. So we are guaranteed the top 50 players in terms of FedEx Cup standings, unlike other events. Managers are going to other events to recruit players to come and participate. You know, our folks our participants are working all year round and qualify throughout the year, and ultimately the event ahead of ours, the FedEx St. Jude in Memphis, acts as the cut into our tournament. So over the course of Thursday through Sunday at our event, we don't have a cut, which is great. We get the top 50 Thursday through Sunday. Lindsay touched on a little bit of the proceeds that we've made since partnering with BMW Championship. That partnership started in 2007. Prior to that, we were known as the Western Open. But from a branding side of things too, in those years since that partnership, there's been 4 times, including last year, where we were actually named PGA Tour Tournament of the Year. Last year, we actually shared those accolades with the WM Phoenix Open as well. And we also saw a record-setting year of what we gave back to the Evans Scholars in terms of proceeds last year at $5.5 million. So a lot of good things coming from that. And you know, we're really excited to be bringing it here to Colorado. It's been a number of years, and we're well aware of that since it's been at Cherry Hills. So we're excited to be bringing it to Castle Pines.
And also, I think it's important, like, this isn't just you guys travel all over, you know, there's a kind of a rotation, how, you know, what kind of goes into that, you know, you got teams going ahead of things. I mean, Castle Pines is this year, but it's been in the works for a little bit of time.
Yeah, so, you know, that's another unique aspect of our event is we don't have a set home where, again, FedEx plays in Memphis. The week after us, their tour championship is playing in Eastlake in down outside Atlanta always. But part of us moving around kind of ties back to the Evans Scholars aspect and being able to promote that program, promote the caddying, all the integration of that. So, but we hear a lot, you know, of having some stability or bringing it back more frequently to certain places. There's definitely a little bit of ulterior motive on our end in terms of promoting the Evans Scholars side of things. A couple years ago, for example, when we were at Capes Valley outside of Baltimore, it coincided with us having our first 2 initial scholars that we were sending to the University of Maryland that fall and purchasing a property to convert as home for the Evans Scholars. So it's a much bigger aspect that goes into it, and a lot of entities that are involved from, you know, BMW's perspective, the PGA Tour, Western Golf, and then of course finding that host club that's willing to take on everything that goes into it. You know, right now we're already site planning as far out as 2026 and 2027. So there's a lot of conversations years in advance that go into putting together an event like this, especially when it moves.
It's great, it's amazing how much you guys do and move around. That's going to be said for your staff and everything that these people are doing. As you can see kind of over my shoulder here, we've got our Evans Scholars and you know, in the picture. So Lindsay, how do you guys incorporate, you know, the Evans Scholar aspect into the BMW Championship with the current scholars and all?
Yeah, that's like a very important part of the event. Obviously, you want to showcase who the tournament is benefiting. To Christina's point earlier, we we go to certain markets in order to promote the scholarship. So they're involved from pre-event, so the pro-am that's hosted on Wednesday before, we have scholars and alumni caddy for the pros and individuals playing in that pro-am. In fact, a couple of years ago at Diamond Country Club, one of our scholars was able to caddy for Tiger Woods. So you can imagine how special that experience was for that scholar. So it's really neat that we're able to do that and to incorporate, the stories into different features throughout the week. What we started last year, now the day before the program on Tuesday, when the pros are going out with their caddies, we have scholars who can sign up to carry the bag for the professional caddy, so the caddy can focus on reading the green, marking down scores for the player, and really, being able to focus on the things that they need to for the week ahead, and then giving our scholars time to get involved, which is, very special. Additionally, there's unique elements that can be incorporated throughout the week. So last year, saw in the video, Ilka Horschmeyer, she is the vice chairman for BMW. She's the highest ranking woman globally for BMW. She came in from Munich. And because of that, we were able to host a special event at our Western Evan Scholarship House. She was able to tour that. And then she was gracious enough to sit down and do a fireside chat, talk about leadership and her with our students and alumni. So from year to year, there's different unique elements that we can build in. Additionally, we announced the scholars on the first tee on Saturday and Sunday of the tournament. At the end of the tournament, as you can see in this photo, we take a picture with the champion. So there's a lot of unique elements we're able to incorporate that way. And then another special part of the sponsorship with BMW is that they have agreed to provide a BMW Evans Scholarship anytime there's a hole-in-one over the course of the tournament. So since 2007, there's been 6 hole-in-ones, so 6 BMW Evans Scholars, and the most recent took place in 2022 at Wilmington Country Club. Victor Hodwin had a hole-in-one. And that was really special because then the following year, so last year in the field, he was able to meet the scholar who was awarded the BMW scholarship. And then for those of you who know, he went on to shoot 28 on the back 9 of the field to win it. So like it just made it extra special, I think, in that moment for her to be able to the individual culture and get that scholarship.
I think it's probably because he met her, that's the whole reason. He was like, I don't love that you were in this. I think that she got to get into, Also, just to keep in mind, there are some note cards on your table. I forgot to mention this at the beginning. If you do have questions, we will open up questions at the end, so you can write them down, hold them up, and we have some fantastic runners in the back that will grab those for you. So as we're continuing our conversation, I don't want you guys to feel you don't have an opportunity to ask a question. So it's also interesting too, because I know I was here for the Cherry Hills for that BMW. Yes, I've been around that long with the CGA, and that was 10 years ago. So what's interesting too is that you have Western Golf directors that are involved, and they're called green coats. Am I correct on that one? And they are also out at the events, and they wear that blazer the entire week. So if you were out at Castle Pines, you will see that, and go either they think they won the Masters, or they're just so again, having a championship here, and especially here in the state of Colorado, we crave it. We really, really crave it. But what we also crave, and I know all the ladies here, maybe the same thing maybe not. And maybe it's just because I got to be involved with it in 2014. But I mean, what are some, funny stories, Christina? Like, is there anything behind the scenes that we should, any players you want to throw on the bus, anything like that? It's fine. It is being recorded, so we understand what you can and cannot disclose.
Yeah, there's certainly always some interesting requests that we get when it comes to telestays and things of that nature. Over the years, it's been things from, more recently I can think of, you need to be in a hotel room that has streaming capabilities. The host hotel doesn't do that, they'll go stay elsewhere. We've had must have a bathtub, which is kind of a funny one that I think of when you think of these suburban men out there. The golf course, and they come back to their sofa. years ago, there was one that actually required their own mattress in every hotel room, so from tournament to tournament, they would bring their own mattress and had to make sure that their room that they were staying in had the current, king size removed and theirs put in place as they came in. Outside of room requests, we get a number of guys that travel in RVs. For a few consecutive years, there was one particular gentleman who, he'd come in his RV and then really as a nice gesture to the groundskeeping crew, he'd pick a night where he would actually grill and barbecue for all of them and cook for the, 75-ish folks that would put in the hard work throughout the week. So, that's a pretty remarkable gesture, I think. And honestly though, this one will remain nameless because it certainly is more recent, but funny to me is in our 2020, I believe it was, when we had our COVID year where we weren't allowed spectators on site. The nature of our event, as maybe some of you are aware, requires many volunteers to actually execute it through the week. Right now, we are roughly at 2,000 volunteers that fill positions for us. So certainly in 2020, that was cut back as well, because with proximity to players in some of those roles and such, we weren't allowed to have them. So our staff had to take on additional roles, including player transportation. Normally we have a committee that handles that, and as the courtesy cars that they get from BMWs for the week, they work on staging them at airports as they're coming in, getting into the airports the Sunday of championship or Monday night after. But with just our staff, among the many other hats we wear that week, having to cover player transportation. We were in Chicago that year, and we had an arrangement with O'Hare Airport that players could drop off their cars at valet and they would stage them for us, and we would come out periodically and, with a handful of staff and pull those back. Well, this particular player, as we are all standing on around the 18th green, watching the guys kind of finish up that year, having to go to playoffs, let's go a little bit longer. Our staff member that was kind of that coordinating person gets a phone call while we're on the green, and to let us know, and mind you, these courtesy cars are all, decaled on the side, official car of BMW Championship, so it stands out pretty well where it belongs. But they got a call from the valet department or somebody at O'Hare Airport that one of those cars was curbside at departures and run. And no one anywhere near in sight. So somewhere the communication channel got missed a little bit about driving it and leaving it with valet versus leaving it at the curb and just going into the flight. That player is actually still around today, and it's one of those stories that, when we see them at our event or, other events, it's hard not to look at them and have that come to that one certainly sits.
So it's kind of like reading a notice to competitors. He didn't read the notice. Yeah. I didn't do that. Wow, that's pretty good. It's amazing, probably all the things that you guys see and the requests. They do. I mean, I normally travel and ask for my too. That always makes it a little easier than you have them. So I'm not alone in that. So another big thing, and I'm starting to get some of your questions, is just involvement. How, when you guys are going from site to site, you're not staying in one place. How do you recruit your volunteers? How does that, how do you fill those spots?
Yeah, well, we're very fortunate, I think, on that end with the aspect of moving from, one market to another year over year, because again, in an area like this, it's been a little golf starved for a professional golf event in the last few years. There's naturally a lot of excitement when it comes to town. So recruiting is, pretty easy. Knock on wood for that aspect. As I mentioned, we take about 2,000 volunteers. This last year, we opened up that registration in October. Certainly thanks to a great partnership with the CGA, and being able to tap into your membership and give, you know, folks that are members, some priority access to that. We filled up our 2,000 spots within roughly a week, and never open to the general public. So it's a good problem to have on aspects like that, ticket sales, hospitality sales. Certainly it's more a challenge on our end operationally and logistically when we start from scratch every year, but from a volunteer side, getting involved, it's a good problem to have on our end. So if there are folks signed up, thank you, Vince.
You signed up and you want to raise their hand, yeah, great. And then additionally, like ticket sales. You know, how are the ticket sales going? How many tickets do you know, are per day?
Sure.
They're
Well, there absolutely is. It's something that we look at overall. We still want a good spectator experience. You know, you can use the marketing ploy that there's miles and miles of road line for fans to watch from. But at the end of the day, we want to consider things like the parking, transportation, you know, merchandise, concessions, and restroom, you know, capacities and things like that. So we still want a good fan experience. You know, it was May of 2022 that we actually made the formal announcement of coming to Castle Pines. It was later that summer in June or July that we opened up for hospitality sales with the big venues that you see sitting out Kings and Queens. As I mentioned, it was October for volunteers of this last year. We opened up our ticket sales to the general public around mid-November. And honestly, we knew there was excitement and we kept hearing that from, you know, the Soliches and the other folks at Castle Pines of, you know, what the appetite was for professional golf here. And I think week over week, as we see those sales coming, it kind of continues to blow our mind, especially in these winter months. So that 5.5 million that I mentioned last year, that was record setting for us. We certainly have ambitions to surpass that this year. You know, as there, from a general spectator side of things, we look at having roughly during the tournament Thursday through Sunday, you know, 25 to 30,000 people on site every day. So
That's a lot of people. You can also get your tickets if you click on our website. We do have something for the BMW Championship. And if you're looking for tickets, you're gonna run out today. And you're gonna purchase those tickets if you haven't already. You can do that. They also did a wonderful holiday promotion as well. That was really good for any day tickets as well. So also, you know, kind of piggybacking off of the ticket sales and all of that, you know, how does someone, you know, Lindsay, become like a donor? If they're just, you know, you heard Kayla's story, how do they become a donor to the Evans Scholarship? How do they get involved with that side of it?
Yeah, so similar to what you said, if you go to our website, Western Golf Association, Evans Scholars Foundation, there's lots of ways that you can give back to what we call our club. So if you go onto our website, there's lots of ways that you can see to donate different amounts, how that benefits the scholarship. Beyond that, all you ladies, I assume are golfers, based on why you're here today. If you're ever at a location that has caddies, please take them. You know, that helps them get experience, that helps them get the moves that they need to qualify for the scholarship. So that's another way to get involved.
So this comes shameless plug number 3 of the day. We talked about our Solich Caddy Leadership Academy, and we have chapters all over the state. So our original chapter is at Common Ground Golf Course. So if you're looking to try and take a caddy and see what it's like, you can go there since you're in the Denver metro area. Let's say you want to go to Grand Junction, we've got a chapter there. We have Fort Collins, we have Meridian, and again, all of that is on our website. So that's a great opportunity to do that and to take a caddy. And you know, one of the things is people tend to be a little bit more afraid to take a caddy. It's intimidating, right? But you have to remember that you know, young person that's carrying your bag could be the next Taylor Kearns who's going to stand up here and it's like changing. And trust me, they're just and you might be a fan of themselves. And then also we have Mark Cutler, he's down at the Broadmoor. We have a chapter down at the Broadmoor as well. So, you know, I think this year we had about 7 of our kids that actually received the Epic Scholarship. So that concludes shameless plug number 3 for our Caddy Academy. Okay, we do have some questions coming in from the audience, so make sure if you have some, this is the time. But will the championship have a military veterans day this year?
We're working on it. So we do have a military policy in general that kind of coincides with the larger tour policy where we, in general, honor veterans, retired military, active duty with complimentary grounds missions. So we are working through some sponsorship avenues to kind of have more of an appreciation aspect to it on Tuesday, Wednesday with some hospitality. Not finalized yet on that side of things, so at the very least, there still will be complimentary grounds access throughout the week. We're also looking to do kind of, some other military appreciation with the start of the event on Thursday morning. All works in progress, many meetings on that, lots of decisions to be made, but obviously in an area like this, we know there's a large retiree base and things like that, so we're certainly excited to promote that policy and that access for those folks as well.
That's great. So a question about really what is the Evans House? Lindsay, can you tell us about the Evans House?
Yes, and I apologize, because I neglected to say, to share this before we started. So at our 24 chapters, all of our students live together in community, and that really helps. Like, in the programs, you can see there is a 3.3 GPA on average and 100% graduation rate. So Kayla spoke to a little bit too, that community aspect really helps bolster that. But at, I would say 19 of our chapters, we have Evans Scholarship houses. So the students live together freshman through senior year, males and females, all 4 years. So they really create a strong bond where they can live and work together. And then at the chapters, there's a few such as UIC in Chicago, Notre Dame, Howard University, Washington DC, where they don't have houses like that. So they'll live together in community residence halls. That is a big factor in component of what we do and building strong relationships amongst those scholars and just having that cohort to help move you along through your college journey.
Great, thank you. And you can see at the University of Colorado, they have a very large Evans Scholar House. Recently, they did some renovations inside, and it's beautiful. It's right across from campus. And Ed can tell you all about the house after we get done today, because he knows everything about it. And was there before, things like that. So I know we're kind of getting to the end of our time here, and again, we want to thank you guys, and I do have a little token of appreciation for you guys. But we have one last question. And I know you know it's coming, because you kind of alluded to it, to the whole thing. And that is, we have waited 10 long years to have the BMW championship here. We crave it. We used to have the international. We love watching professional golf. Are we gonna really have to wait that long again?
She comes in with the tough ones at the end. So, again, you know a little bit about, why, how our selection happens, what takes place, again, all the different parties involved in that. Currently we are slated at sites through 2027, which coincides with our agreement with BMW right now. So following this year, we are actually doing a repeat back out at Case Valley around the Baltimore area. In 2026, we are at Bellerive in St. Louis. In 2027, we are back on the East Coast again at Liberty National in Jersey City. And then it's really open after that, at that point, we're, working on our extension with BMW. So again, we really see the excitement in this area. And if that's a testament to anything, we don't want to wait 10 years either, but there are a lot of decision makers in the process and in different aspects of that. But, again, right now through 2027, and it's open after that.
I checked our calendar, we're available in 2028.
No, but I will take that back to the powers that be. You got it. We'll come see you after.
Get that on the books right now. We've locked it in, right? Well, thank you guys again for being here with us today. We are so looking forward to having you guys here in Colorado and then back again in 2028. And so thank you guys so much and everything that you do for the kids and for these scholars and what it means for them. I know you guys put in a lot of hard work and hours and everything, but you know, at the end of the day, when you have a scholar that stands up there and their life has been changed, it's kind of like, okay, it's been changed for the better, right? This is so amazing. So we thank you, and CGA loves being a partner with the Western Golf Association, so that connection is very strong. Because again, what does Colorado, the C and the CGA stand for? Stands for Caddies. So with that, I'm gonna let all the rest of you go home. Thank you again.
Then we give it up for Aaron Ganghoff, our MC.
Same time next year, maybe we'll get back to our first week in March. I know we were a little early this year, but just get that in your calendar now and we'll send something out. And we'll probably be right back here in the Botanic Gardens. Thank you.
All right, guys, so to be leaving, because I got that date. And you guys got it. I know.